For years, the Tesla Semi was quietly sitting in the shadows of Tesla's entire product lineup. With barely any production happening, almost no real information getting out, and tons of doubt from the trucking world, most people figured this electric beast was just another side project that would fade away. But here we are in 2025, and this massive Class 8 truck has done something incredible. It's surprised everyone, including Elon Musk himself. The Tesla Semi isn't just trying to keep up with its diesel rivals anymore. No, it's actually crushing its own previous records. Right before mass production kicks into high gear next year, Tesla decided to push this truck to its absolute limits with some seriously ambitious testing. We're talking long-haul routes that people swore would never work for an electric truck. And guess what? The Tesla Semi didn't just meet Tesla's bold promises. It absolutely demolished them. In a jaw-dropping 3,000-mile real-world endurance test, this truck proved it has the stability, the raw performance, and the kind of durability that nobody, not even Elon, saw coming. Now, DHL is one of the latest big names to get their hands on the Semi, and they didn't mess around. They ran some brutal 2-week trials, putting the truck through everything they could think of. Their conclusion? This thing is way better than anything they ever imagined. PepsiCo drivers and SIA drivers are saying the exact same thing. In fact, some of these veteran truckers have openly said they want to retire driving this vehicle. That's how good it is. Here's where it gets really interesting. Companies that originally thought they'd only use the Semi for short little city routes are now completely rethinking their entire game plan. Why? Because this truck is now perfectly capable of handling serious long-haul operations, and it does it at operating costs that are shockingly lower than diesel. And when you realize that more than 70% of all freight trucks in the US are traveling under 500 miles per trip, you start to see why the Tesla Semi is such a perfect match for the industry. But wait, there's more. The 2026 upgraded model is coming fast, and it's bringing some huge improvements. We're talking better aerodynamics, smarter weight distribution, and production costs that are about to drop significantly thanks to the brand new Giga Semi production line. Elon even dropped a bombshell recently, saying Tesla might be able to crank out around 200 trucks every single day. Yeah, you heard that right. 200 units per day. So how exactly did the Tesla Semi pull off that insane 3,000-mile test? How is Tesla planning to manufacture 200 units daily? And is the 2026 version really going to bring those major upgrades everyone's talking about? Stick around because we're about to break it all down for you. If you're loving what you're hearing so far, make sure you hit that subscription button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from Tech Drive. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. For years, the Tesla Semi has held a certain reputation. It was known as Tesla's toughest vehicle. And no, that's not a badge of honor. It's been notorious for being the hardest to manufacture, the most ridiculously expensive, and the most doubted product in Tesla's entire history. People weren't just skeptical. They flat out mocked it, laughed at it, and declared loudly that it would never replace diesel trucks in the long-haul game. But then something wild started happening. Not because of some fancy marketing campaign or a slick promo video, but because real numbers started rolling in from some of the biggest transportation companies on the planet. DHL, the absolute titan of global logistics, just got their first Tesla Semi delivered. And they didn't waste any time with soft launches or easy test runs. Nope. They immediately threw that truck onto a brutal 390-mile long-haul route, fully loaded with 75,000 pounds of freight. What absolutely shocked their entire engineering team, and honestly the whole trucking industry, was what happened next. The Semi completed that entire grueling trip on just a single charge, and it still had battery left over when it arrived. Nobody thought that was actually possible in the real world. But that wasn't even the craziest part of the story. Over a full 2-week testing period, DHL ran a total of 3,000 miles with the Semi. They were averaging over 50 miles per hour consistently, and they measured an energy consumption of just 1.72 kilowatt-hours per mile. That's way better than the 2 to 2.2 kilowatt-hours per mile that most other electric trucks are struggling with right now. Jim Monkmeyer, who's the president of transportation at DHL Supply Chain North America, couldn't hide his excitement. He said the pilot program with the Tesla Semi completely exceeded expectations, proving the truck's ability to haul typical DHL freight over serious distances on a single charge. Right now, DHL is only using the Semi for about 100 miles of deliveries per day, even though the truck could easily handle 500 miles. They say it only needs charging about once a week, and it's expected to cut down around 50 tons of greenhouse gas emissions every year. The company is already planning to order way more semi-trucks in 2026 when Tesla has much larger production volume ready to go. But it's not just the suits at headquarters who are impressed. The Tesla Semi has been getting absolutely glowing reviews from veteran truck drivers, the people who actually live behind the wheel. Tom Sturba, a longtime driver at SIA, praised the Semi's technology as a massive leap forward for the entire industry. He said the truck's navigation system is unbelievable, and he has zero desire to go back to driving a diesel truck. He even mentioned that he hopes to retire while driving the Semi. That's some serious loyalty right there. There's this really interesting fact that not a lot of people know about. Diesel trucks often actually arrive later than electric trucks in many real-world scenarios because electric vehicles can climb hills faster and hold higher speeds more consistently. This was clearly proven during Tesla Semi testing. The truck can climb grades between 8 and 10% at a steady 60 miles per hour. On a 1,000-mile trip, an electric truck can literally arrive up to 2 hours earlier than a diesel. Sure, you've got to stop and charge for about 40 minutes to an hour, but you still get there almost at the same time as a diesel truck while paying way less per mile. Plus, electric trucks can last 2 to 3 times longer than diesel trucks before needing major overhauls. Another veteran driver, Michael Davis, said he jumped at the chance to drive the Tesla Semi as soon as it was introduced. He mentioned that the truck hasn't disappointed him at all, especially because it's incredibly powerful. The Tesla Semi isn't just performing well anymore. It's crushing Tesla's own original claims by a huge margin. This might actually be the first time in Tesla's entire history that the company seriously underestimated one of its own products. And that's exactly why Elon Musk has officially named the Semi as one of the 3 absolute core products for 2026, right alongside the Robotaxi and Optimus humanoid robot. Here's the thing that's kind of crazy. Over the past few years, Elon Musk has barely mentioned the Tesla Semi at all. Not because the project was cancelled or anything like that, but for 3 specific reasons. First, every single Semi on the road right now is basically a working prototype being used to collect real-world performance data. Second, Tesla never actually had a dedicated factory built specifically for the Semi until now. And third, the Semi still doesn't have full self-driving capability yet, which Musk considers the true revolution for the trucking industry. But all of that has changed now. Tesla just finished constructing a brand new factory up in northern Nevada. It's pretty much a true semi-gigafactory, purpose-built from the ground up. Before this facility existed, the Semi was almost being hand-built in small batches. Now it's transitioning onto a fully automated, high-speed production line. And here's where things get really exciting. Starting in 2026, Tesla is targeting production of 50,000 semi-trucks per year. Let's break that down. That's 4,166 trucks per month, 960 trucks per week, and roughly 192 trucks rolling off the line every single day. We know those numbers sound absolutely wild, especially when you consider that fewer than 500 semis even exist today. But this isn't some fantasy anymore. Tesla has genuinely solved every major production bottleneck that was holding them back. They now have the factory capacity locked in, the battery supply secured, and a much more efficient truck design ready to scale. So honestly, hitting 50,000 units per year is completely doable at this point. And that production number puts Tesla right on the heels of the established big players in the heavy truck market. Take Peterbilt, for example. They manufacture around 60,000 heavy-duty trucks per year. But here's the kicker. They don't have a single electric truck that even comes close to matching the Semi in terms of engineering sophistication or overall performance. But here's the part that really matters for customers. The semis coming out of this brand new factory won't be prototypes anymore. These will be the real deal, full production units, not the early test trucks that DHL and Pepsi have been running around with. And according to some leaked information we've been seeing, Tesla has been quietly preparing for this moment with a complete design overhaul for the 2026 production version. From the images Tesla has released, the 2026 Semi gets a totally redesigned front end with a much cleaner, modern light bar setup, a simpler bumper that's way easier and cheaper to repair, a smoother and more rounded cab roof profile, and a shorter windshield. Let's be honest, that massive rear glass section on the 2017 concept version never really served any practical purpose anyway. All of these aerodynamic changes help bring the drag coefficient down to around 0.33, which is actually better than the already impressive 0.36 from earlier versions. Even a tiny improvement of just 0.03 in drag coefficient can boost overall energy efficiency by 5 to 8%, and give the truck dozens of extra miles per charge in real-world conditions. On top of all that, the chassis has been seriously optimized, and the Semi's base weight drops below 23,000 pounds, which directly improves both payload capacity and overall range. And when it's time to plug in and charge up, the new Semi will support 1.2 megawatt ultra-fast charging using Tesla's next-generation high-power charging hardware to hit those incredible speeds. When it comes to the battery technology, Tesla's going with a smart two-track strategy here. The long-range Semi will use those advanced 4,680 cells, the high-density tabless design that keeps power delivery rock solid even when the truck is pulling heavy loads at highway speeds for hours. The shorter-range version will use LFP cells instead, which are ultra-durable, roughly 40% cheaper to produce, and absolutely perfect for city routes or delivery runs in the 100 to 200 mile range. For companies that only need short-distance operations within metro areas, that lower-range Semi is expected to come in at around $160,000, making it way more accessible. But honestly, the most important upgrade coming to the Semi isn't the battery at all. It's full self-driving. Tesla has added a brand new camera location positioned right above the front wheel arch. That's a pretty clear signal that the Semi is being specifically optimized to become a fully autonomous heavy truck. And if FSD really makes it onto the Semi in a meaningful way, this completely changes the entire game for the trucking industry. The truck could potentially operate almost 24/7, only stopping for quick 30 to 40-minute megacharger sessions. That means dramatically lower labor costs, much faster delivery cycles, and a major reduction in accidents caused by driver fatigue or distraction. The implications are absolutely massive for logistics companies. Now, here's something we all need to be real about. The Tesla Semi is definitely not a cheap truck by any stretch. Current reports are suggesting that the 500-mile range version could land somewhere around $200,000. Elon hasn't publicly confirmed that exact number, but he also hasn't denied it either, because Class 8 electric trucks are always going to be more expensive upfront than traditional diesel ones. A report from the American Transportation Research Institute shows that an average Class 8 diesel truck costs about $180,000, while an equivalent electric truck can easily climb past $400,000 from other manufacturers. But the real story completely shifts once you start looking at operating costs and the genuine long-term savings that electric trucks deliver. Businesses are constantly hunting for ways to slash fuel expenses, reduce maintenance headaches, and widen their profit margins wherever possible. Tesla claims that refueling a Semi costs roughly half as much as filling up a diesel truck with fuel. The savings can reach up to $150,000 within just the first 3 years of ownership, which is an amount that would immediately grab the attention of any serious fleet owner. With operating costs sitting at around 30 cents per mile, a 6.5-mile trip only costs about $3.30 in electricity. Meanwhile, a diesel truck would burn at least 1 full gallon of fuel covering the same distance, and at $3.66 per gallon, diesel is clearly the more expensive option by a significant margin. And that's just comparing fuel costs alone. The difference in maintenance expenses between diesel trucks and electric trucks is even more dramatic and eye-opening. A diesel engine is basically a complicated mechanical maze packed with hundreds of moving parts. Pistons, valves, camshafts, timing chains, all of which gradually wear down over time and constantly need to be replaced, cleaned, adjusted, or serviced on regular schedules. Diesel trucks require constant oil changes, fuel filter replacements, transmission servicing, exhaust system maintenance, and drivetrain upkeep. Electric trucks, on the other hand, are like jumping from old analog technology straight to streamlined digital simplicity. Much simpler overall, zero oil changes ever, far fewer parts that can wear out, and thanks to regenerative braking technology, brake pads barely wear down at all compared to diesel trucks, saving even more money over time. According to multiple independent studies, maintenance costs for an electric truck are typically 40 to 60% lower than maintaining a comparable diesel truck. On average, diesel fleets are spending somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 per truck per year just on routine maintenance alone, while electric trucks typically cost only around $8,000 to $15,000 annually to maintain. So even though the upfront purchase price of an electric truck is definitely higher, once you carefully add up all the accumulated savings from fuel costs, maintenance expenses, and increased uptime with far less time spent sitting in repair shops, it becomes crystal clear that it's a genuinely smart investment. Especially for businesses seriously looking to reduce their long-term operating costs and keep their entire fleet running as efficiently and profitably as possible. The Tesla Semi is genuinely revolutionizing the entire trucking industry with its sophisticated regenerative braking system, which recovers almost all of the energy that gets used when descending slopes and hills. This incredible feature not only significantly extends the vehicle's overall range, but it also conserves massive amounts of energy, making those long-haul trips far more efficient than anyone previously thought possible. In fact, the total amount of energy that gets recovered during downhill sections can nearly match what gets consumed during regular flat highway driving, offering absolutely immense benefits for businesses actively looking to dramatically cut costs on long-distance routes. When businesses finally realize and truly understand that a truck can save them tons of money on fuel, be significantly easier and more enjoyable to drive, offer brutally fast acceleration when needed, and come with substantially lower operating costs plus higher profitability, the whole idea of ever returning to old diesel trucks simply won't make any logical sense anymore. This might sound kind of extraordinary or even hard to believe, but the Tesla Semi has already proven every single one of these points in actual real-world applications with major companies. PepsiCo drivers who have had the genuine opportunity to operate the Tesla Semi day after day confirm without hesitation that after driving this incredible electric rig, they absolutely don't want to drive any other truck ever again. It's not just about the raw power and instant performance. They consistently cite the remarkably quiet, incredibly smooth ride that really sets the Tesla Semi apart from every traditional diesel truck they've ever driven before. The complete absence of constant engine noise and vibration creates a driving experience that feels totally unique and almost surreal. Moreover, the massively reduced stress levels and physical fatigue make for a much more comfortable and genuinely enjoyable workday, leading many experienced drivers to openly say they'd happily stay in their current role just to keep driving the Tesla Semi every single day. The overall experience is always in a class completely of its own. Elon Musk has already publicly confirmed that the Tesla Semi will eventually be rolled out globally to markets all around the world. However, true global expansion definitely won't be without its fair share of serious challenges and regulatory hurdles. For example, in Australia, which is actually a very promising market for electric trucks, the current strict truck size regulations are creating a significant barrier that's preventing the Tesla Semi from getting official approval to operate there. While active efforts to amend and update these outdated laws are already underway with government officials, it's realistically going to take considerable time before the Semi can legally operate there at full-scale capacity. For instance, the truck currently exceeds the maximum legal width allowed, measuring 8.5 feet compared to the 8.37-foot limit that's typically enforced in most European countries as well. On top of this width issue, European markets have historically tended to strongly favor cab-over designs, which are much more compact overall and allow for maximized cargo space in tight urban environments. However, the Tesla Semi uses a more traditional long-nose conventional design, which is far more common and popular in American trucks. To make the Semi truly compatible with strict European standards and customer preferences, Tesla may very well need to make some significant design adjustments that properly accommodate both the specific regulatory requirements and the practical everyday needs of European freight operators who face different conditions. In addition to the size issue, the center driving position of the Semi could potentially present another notable challenge in the competitive European market. While American trucks almost universally use this center configuration, in Europe the accepted norm is to have the driver seated on one side of the cabin instead. This offset layout is specifically designed to optimize available cabin space, improve forward visibility in traffic, and provide much better maneuverability when reversing or parking near the curb in crowded city centers. For the Tesla Semi to better align with established European preferences and expectations, Tesla may realistically need to move the driver's seat over to the left side of the cabin for right-hand traffic countries. Additionally, fully equipped sleeper cabins are pretty much a standard mandatory feature for long-haul trucks operating in Europe. So it's highly likely that a properly equipped version of the Semi with a comfortable sleeper compartment will be absolutely necessary to meet market expectations and remain competitive. Ultimately, these various design modifications and regulatory changes could require some pretty significant engineering modifications to the core Tesla Semi platform for it to be truly viable and successful in the diverse European market. But given Tesla's proven track record of successfully overcoming massive challenges and adapting to different markets, it's quite likely the innovative company will properly adapt its flagship electric truck to effectively meet the diverse needs of global freight operators everywhere. As we all clearly know, Tesla's service presence throughout Europe is still quite limited in scope, especially when directly compared to the extremely well-established and comprehensive service networks of major European commercial vehicle manufacturers who can immediately provide support to their fleet customers virtually anywhere. Tesla's network simply doesn't have that same extensive geographical reach yet across the continent. Meanwhile, Europe's rapidly growing electric truck market is expanding incredibly fast and getting more intensely competitive by the day, with major heavyweights like Volvo's impressive FH Electric, Mercedes-Benz's advanced eActros 600, and several others already making strong aggressive moves in the space. Volvo in particular has strategically positioned itself as a clear leader with around 3,000 electric trucks already actively operating across Europe right now. This puts Tesla in an undeniably tricky competitive spot. It's not just about facing the challenge of having a limited service network. It's about going head-to-head against well-established giants who already have an incredibly solid foothold in the market and decades of relationships. Plus, many critics frequently point out that Tesla's overall brand image in Europe isn't exactly glowing, with ongoing disruptions and controversies at Giga Berlin serving as a constant reminder that the company still has quite a long way to go before it can truly win over the skeptical European market completely. For Tesla, bringing the Tesla Semi to Europe is definitely a bold strategic move that absolutely should be carefully weighed and planned. While it certainly holds significant potential for success, it's also genuinely loaded with substantial obstacles and challenges. On the positive side, the Semi still clearly has the edge in several areas where other electric trucks currently operating in Europe fall noticeably short. No other truck on the European market offers anywhere close to 500 miles of real range and maintains an energy efficiency of 1.7 kWh per mile like the Semi does. For context, the Volvo FH Electric tops out at just 373 miles maximum, and the Mercedes eActros 600 barely manages 311 miles under ideal conditions. Plus, full self-driving capability could potentially take the Semi to an entirely new level of capability, dramatically alleviating stress for professional drivers and offering a genuine potential solution to Europe's serious ongoing labor shortage problem in the transport sector. But before the Semi can really make its lasting mark beyond North America, Tesla definitely faces some major hurdles that can't be ignored. Not only must the company successfully navigate complex design requirements and strict regulatory challenges, But it also urgently needs to establish a truly robust service network and build out all the necessary supporting charging infrastructure across Europe. Without addressing those critical issues, even the genuinely impressive capabilities of the revolutionary Semi may not be quite enough to secure its rightful place in the intensely competitive European market. So what do you honestly think is the single biggest advantage of the Tesla Semi over traditional diesel trucks? How do you personally feel about the full self-driving feature potentially revolutionizing the entire long-haul trucking industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because we genuinely want to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching Tech Drive, and we'll see you in the next one.